Yo, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to the second Bonfire chat. I guess this is a podcast at this point,
Oh yeah,
but
that's
as
what it's
soon as we
called, right?
call it,
Yeah.
yeah, as soon as we call it a podcast, that will be the last episode we ever upload. We don't stick to podcasts, but this is something we're trying
It's
because we
funny.
don't talk as much as we used to. So
No, oops, just bumped the mic. No, we don't talk as much as we used to because we started to hate each other. So
yeah,
we started drifting apart.
yeah, that's actually true.
It
Um,
is.
no, are you falling for your own bit?
Yeah, yeah, I was falling for my own bit.
No, but no, yeah. So, literally, I'm not sure if we've talked since the last time we talked on podcast. So that's
I
kind of
don't
fun.
think that's like legit true. Yeah.
And that's like never happens. That never happens. It just started raining here, which is great. Like perfect timing. Perfect timing. It's nine o'clock, 9 p.m. April 11th. I'm scared to say the date because when this is uploaded on the 31st, it's gonna look real bad. No, but yeah, we're just back. We're just chilling, grilling. We pretty much are. We're just gonna talk like we normally talk. But I want to say something. While I was at work today. I listened through our whole first podcast again
Yeah.
while working, and it wasn't
Yeah.
bad. It wasn't bad. There's definitely some things that I was like, okay, like I talk too much. I need to learn how to shut up and like move
You
on to different
talk too
topics.
much.
I just like ramble on the same thing. I said like the same thing, like but just like 8 different ways, like multiple
Oh
times. I'm
really?
like, dude, I just
Oh
need to learn how
really?
to just like shut up and drop it. It's hilarious.
Surprised you're not talking about me doing that. 'Cause that's something I would do.
No, dude, like I felt like I was cutting you off half the time. Like I was like, dude, I need to like shut up. It's like insane. Um,
Weird.
but I am glad I listened to it again, so that way I can remember what the hell we talked about. Um, and since then, the last time we talked, you were playing through Star Ocean, I was playing through Chrono Trigger. Um, I had mentioned that I wanted to play Azura's Wrath. So pretty much things have changed since then.
Yeah.
So I'll just go ahead and say that I did end up finishing Chrono Trigger. That is off the list now.
Yeah,
Fantastic
and
game.
you son of a bitch.
What?
Cutting me off
Okay.
already, boy.
Now listen, listen. Whatever. Go ahead. What were you
Okay,
gonna say?
go ahead. Oh no.
Jesus Christ.
Okay. You finished Chrono Trigger. I also finished Star Ocean 2. That's all I was gonna say.
Yeah.
Said I finished the game that I was playing last time as well. Well, you go
Yeah.
ahead.
Yeah, so Chrono Trigger was great. I don't think it's in my top 5 favorite JRPGs I ever played.
Okay.
It's much better than I thought it was going to be, because I even mentioned last episode that I tried playing it once before, got halfway, and I was kind of like, I don't really see the hype. But this time around, it was much better. I could understand the hype. But that being said, it really doesn't. It still didn't live up to the hype. Like, I can see it. I understand why people like it. But it still didn't necessarily ever click like, oh, this is one of the best JRPGs ever made. It just didn't do that for me. But I think it was solid, like an 8 out of 10. And some people might come after me for that, but you know, I think I've been fortunate to play a lot of fantastic JRPGs, and I think Chrono Trigger being built up like it has been, I think I kind of oversold it to myself in a way, overhyped it, but it was still fantastic, really good. But yeah, Ryder, go ahead and talk about Star Ocean, how you thought about it, because I never beat it, so.
Since we're talking about Chrono Trigger, let's talk about Chrono Trigger a little bit here. Because I
Okay.
agree with you that, like, I don't want to say it's overrated, you know what I mean? But, like, it's so hyped up by everybody where, like, people are literally like, this is, like, the best game ever made. Like, that's, like, there's, like, nobody that hasn't played Chrono Trigger, like, going into Chrono Trigger for the first time that hasn't heard, like, a million people say, yeah, dude, it's the best game you ever played. It's going to be the best game you ever made, dude. You're going to love it, dude. It's a 10 out of 10 masterpiece. So you kind of always go with, that's, like, a game that's kind of, like, it's hard to go into it without like super lofty expectations. It's kind of like Ocarina of Time, game like that, where like
100%.
everybody just completely just oversells it to a certain degree. Then you go to play and you're like, it's all right. Which I don't think Chrono Trigger is just all right. I'd probably go about a 7, I guess,
Okay.
for me when I played it. I also played on the PS1, so I played the very worst way to play it.
Absolutely true. Absolutely true.
Yeah, them loading times are so bad, man.
Glad I did
My
not have to
God.
deal with that.
No, see, which is like, honest to God, I think I shouldn't even consider me playing that game because I forget everything that happened anyway, so I just need to replay it. But it's cool that you finished Chrono Trigger. That's a big boy. That's one of them big boy games to knock off the list.
Yeah,
Um,
it's massive, and like I completely agree. It's a solid game. I think maybe a little bit of nostalgia played a factor for some people because I don't think it's really like that much of a shock for someone playing through this game for the first time in 2024 to not put it as high up as somebody who's, maybe played it growing up or even before then. So I think it's not too crazy for me to not put it way up there. But, with that being said, I know some people, may be offended. But keep in mind, everybody's opinion is their own. Just because you disagree with my opinion doesn't mean that I'm wrong. It just means you're a fucking idiot. Anyway, that was a
right.
joke. That was a joke, by the way.
Yeah, I know that. I guess you're explaining to some of the
Yeah, I'm not
audience because,
explaining to
like,
you.
I know.
Thank you. Yeah, I think you're aware. I think you're aware.
Yeah, it's so hot in my room. By the way, Jesus,
Sorry to
is it
hear
hot
that.
tonight,
God, I got my AC kicking, man.
dude? It's too early. It's like just too early because I don't think it's going to stay hot like this. But it's like since it rained all day, it's just muggy and gross. Plus, I was like cooking, not
Well,
too
and
like
your
for
room's in
last.
the attic. That never helps.
Yeah, got the sun beating down. Well, I had the sun beating down. Don't have the sun beating down right now. Anyway, it's like total digression there. I guess I'll talk about Star Ocean 2, the second story R. That's what I play, PS5. Um, really good game. Really, really good game. Uh, really enjoyed it. I love how like it's such an easy game to break if you want to. It's like that's like the best part of the game is like if you just sit down for like a couple hours, you can like literally just like get so overpowered we demolish everything in the game forever. Like, and there's nothing they can do about it. It's hilarious. Um, the one problem I have is, man, are some of the characters a little annoying and a little too like that classic JRPG like anime esque, where it's like, oh my god, the dialogue, dude. I was getting so annoyed with some of the dialogue because it'd be like, Claude would be like, "Yo, we got to go into this cave." Raina, and Raina would be like, "Yeah, Claude, we got to go into this cave." And then like another NPC was like, "Oh, the cave that we got to go in." It's like, dude, stop repeating the same dialogue with like 3 different characters saying it. It happens so often in this game. Like I hate when they do that where it's like, we got to take it's like, we got to get the big crystal to save the world. Oh, you mean we got to get the big crystal to save the world? Yes. It's like, oh, it happens
Yeah.
so often. It was irritating me, man. I was like, Jesus.
Well, quick question
It,
on that. So you never got the English voice acting never bothered you at all in that game?
uh,
Like because
I,
I know for me it did, and I was just curious how you felt with it at the end because I switched to Japanese voices.
yes, I know you switched. I didn't. It wasn't super irritating. Like I've heard so much worse, so
Yeah.
I was probably kind of just like used to it, and I might have been like blocking it out a little bit. Uh, I I'm trying to, there was somebody in here that was like such a bad voice actor though. I think it was like NPC. There was like a couple NPCs, not like main characters, that had such terrible dubbing voice act. Like where they put like no effort in, and they just said like really monotone lines, and I'm like, wow, that was really bad.
It's
Like
like why
that
even
was,
have it?
yeah, it was like so bad. Um, you had like no emotion, but I didn't think it was that bad. I thought Claude was fine. He gets the voice actor does pretty good at by the end too. He gets really aggressive. Um, not to spoil it, but like something big happens because I don't think
Yeah.
you beat it, right?
No, I will. I 100%. I swear on that I will. It is definitely a game
Where
I'm going to
are you?
finish.
Where are you in the game?
Oh man, I honestly I can't even begin to tell you. I think I would just next time I load it up, I'd have to let you know because I'm really not sure, and I don't want to say and be wrong because I can't even begin to remember what I did last. I think it's just been long enough that my brain has shoved it out. But as soon as I load up the game, I think it'll all come back. Like I'll see it and be like, oh yeah, this is what happened.
Yeah. Um,
Because the
you
last
said
thing
you
I
were
did
used.
was just breaking the game. That's the last thing I
Yeah,
did. Like
yeah,
just sitting there breaking the game, making a really interesting build that's giga broken, and then that was about it.
yeah. You were doing. I guess you did the same thing I did the bloody armor build, where
Yeah.
you equip like a HP drain on the weapon, and then
Yep.
you're invincible. Um,
You're actually invincible.
which
Like actually.
yeah, I mean like literally, yeah, like you can't lose. That's like I look at my levels. I have they open right now. Um, on every boss, I was just like playing as Claude. So Claude's level 233, and the next highest is Rain at 185 because they would just die like every super boss
Oh
I was
yeah,
fighting.
yeah, yeah.
And then I would just like annihilate the boss. They couldn't do anything. There's like literally nothing they could do. But
Well, okay. Let me. Since we're on that, real quick, what did you think about the party members? Like, because what from what I remember, it was a struggle to keep them alive sometimes. Like even just
yeah,
in normal fights, it's like you can control them, but half the time I don't want to anyway. I don't really care
no,
to. So I'm trying to use Claude to just keep the pressure off of them, but you really can't take the aggro of the enemies. The enemies really will just go wherever they want.
yeah, that's the thing. And like, there's nothing you can really do. And they would just die all the time. I'm just like, whatever. It's like, well, I'll just leave them dead, or I'll like try to revive them when the boss is almost dead, so they get the XP from it. But like spellcasters, like stay away, right? Number one, they stay away, but once they get low on MP, they just start running around doing nothing.
Yeah,
It's
no,
really
like
annoying.
actually they like, and when he says running around doing nothing, he actually means doing nothing.
They literally just like
They
run around in a
don't do
circle.
anything. They
Yeah, they
don't
don't do
they don't
anything.
swing their staff. They do absolutely nothing but try and avoid the enemy.
Number two, they're also really bad to play, like gameplay wise. Like if you're playing them, they're not very fun to play. Like
Well,
just
because like
casting
every spell
spells.
takes a while to cast, and
Yes, and it feels like if you're controlling them, the enemies automatically go
yep,
after you. It's like what it feels
100%,
like,
100%.
and then you get interrupted, so you can't do these spells. So they're really not fun to play at all. Uh, and sadly, I didn't really try out a lot of the other characters to really like master them. I kind of just like got the claw, and I'm like, well, he's like, I'll just keep playing as him. That's pretty much what happened. Um, so I'm like I never really played like Welch at all. I barely played Ashton. Didn't really play with Chisato, like any of them. Like I didn't sit there. Like some of them don't even have their like things set where you like do the special arts. They don't even have them set. They have like nothing
Oh yeah, like the
there.
D-pad shortcuts or something.
Yeah, yeah, they don't have anything there. It's like wow, you tell I just played Claude. Um,
That really is
it,
just the best way to play that game for me too. So
it really feels bad though because like Claude has like let's say he has like 15 special arts. The best, literally the best thing to do is do like one of the first ones he gets, and then double stack and just keep spamming it. It's like the best way. It's like the most damage he does per second is doing that because it's like the quickest, and you can just keep firing them off, and does like really has really low MP, and that's like the best damage you can do. It's like that kind of sucks. There's like no point in you doing the other ones. It also sucks that like if you are like one of the action dudes with the sword, you can't go and like use other special arts that you don't have on the quick menu. It's really that really sucks too.
and that's something that's like interesting that they would do it that way.
Yeah,
Because I
it is
mean,
interesting.
why not do it the other way? You know, I
I
think.
don't know.
What was I gonna say? By the way, for anybody that doesn't know, this game is not turn-based. It's not even like active time battle. It's just an action RPG.
Yeah, it's just an action RPG.
Like a side, it's like a, it's not even side scroll. It's not even two. I don't even know. It's just you can move up, down, left to right, but it's not three. It's not in a 3D space. It's weird to explain. I'm not very good at it, but Um, so yeah, that's kind of why the party members aren't as good, and it doesn't really matter because if it was turn-based, obviously party members are play a huge role in like turn-based combat, but in action combat, it's just it changes everything, and that's why party members end up becoming more useless, or that's why you can solo the game with the main character. Is just in case anybody was wondering, it is not turn-based.
Trophies, and you're like not really that close to beating the game. So
I think you cut out for the half of that. What'd you say?
I said I was looking at your trophies, and you're not really that close to beating the game.
No, I'm not.
Uh,
Because I even said in the first episode that I'm not as far as I thought I was.
yeah,
Um,
yeah, you didn't really even get to like the second half, I'd say. So
yeah. So when I get back to that, I'll sure I'll love it just as much. I can't remember what came out around that time, but something made me drop it, and I just never went back to it, which is something that I do a lot. But um, yeah. So it was it was cool for us to both beat some the games that we were talking about last episode. And last episode I mentioned that I wanted to play Azura's Wrath, and that's one I
yep.
also beat. I actually streamed that on TikTok. Um, my TikTok is Retro Game Redux, REDUX for Redux. Um, Streamed that in one sitting. Took me about 8 hours, 9 hours. Super fun, unique game. Which I also want to use this game to transition to a topic that is pretty interesting. So don't let me forget. But so with Azura's Wrath, that game is, for those who don't know, it's just a really crazy, like, anime game. Like, it's very anime in the sense of like a very over the top action oriented anime movie is what it feels like you're playing. And you play as Azura. He's a really cool character. I know it's older, but I'm still gonna keep it pretty vague because I know Ryder wants to play it as well. But pretty much it's just like, you know, it's this really crazy kind of Devil May Cry combat. Uh, and but you're in there and you're like fighting a bunch of enemies, hand to hand dodge rolling all that, and then next thing you know, something happens and then you're doing like an on rail shooting section, and the game just it's insane, and there's so much quick time events in the game. My power just flickered, by the way, so hopefully it doesn't go out. I thought it just went out for a second, but it just flickered, so Godspeed to my power holding out if that happens. But as I lose my train of thought on it, but the quick time events, you have to always have the controller in your hand staring at the screen. I made the mistake of like, oh, it's a cutscene, let me look at the chat a bit, and next thing you know, I look over and it's like, oh, it wanted me to press A and I wasn't paying attention. So definitely gotta keep your wits about you with that one with the quick time events. But if you don't know about Azura's Wrath, definitely check it out. Like I said, I'm keeping it pretty vague simply because Ryder wants to play it. If he didn't want to play it, I'd probably just go all out on it because it is an older game, so I think it's kind of okay to do that. But because it's one that he'll play, I just want to say it's just over the top anime game with like crazy cutscenes and a crazy story, and it's really fantastic. It's really cool because it's such a unique game that came out by Capcom in that era. It's one that it's like a lot of people know, but not a lot of people played. I feel like it's one of those games.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah,
And a lot of
that.
people were coming into the stream. They're like, "Wow, this game was so good," or "I forgot about this game," or "I never seen this game." It was a very intriguing game, no matter what. If you played it, if you wanted to play it, if you haven't played it, everyone was interested, and it was just an awesome time. So yeah, I got through that, fantastic, and it made me want to segue to the inflation. The Xbox 360 has hit the point where the games are starting to skyrocket.
Really, man.
And I watched a couple videos on it. Shout out Pete Dorr for making a video that really did a good job of kind of explaining why. And it's just the 360's hitting that point of retro. I mean, the system's almost 20 years old.
Yeah, that's
That's
sad to
like
think about.
insane. It is what, 19 years old?
Yep, yes it is.
That's
'05, right?
yeah. That is insanity
That
for
is
me.
insanity.
Almost 20. I remember getting it when it was new. Like a
Yep.
year after it came out. I got mine at I think '06. And
I got
it's
mine a
just
little
like
later.
wow. I can't believe it. But yeah, so the 360s and PS3, it's hitting that. They hit that point. Now the PS3, what caused the PS3 games to spike was the store shutting down, and then Sony got bullied into keeping it up. But Microsoft has announced that the 360 marketplace is going down, and I don't think they give a fuck. I don't think they're gonna keep it. Microsoft does not care. No offense, like I'm not saying they don't care, as in like they're anti-consumer. It's just that they're not really. They're just ready to move on. They don't care in that aspect. So they're shutting that down, and that obviously is driving the prices up. But a lot of it is just people being nostalgic for the Xbox 360 now. And I know I'm someone who is, and I know Ryder is, because we both played the Xbox 360 and we loved it. And there's so many games on there that people missed out on because the 360 was such a birth of like the Call of Duties, the Battlefields, the Grand Theft Autos, like all online gaming, Halo, all that. So that's, it kind of made the single player niche unique games, it kind of like pushed them to the side. People push them to the side because they're like, okay, well, is this online co-op? No. Okay, does this have online? No. Okay, this no. So a lot of games got shoved over, but which is sad. It's sad, but I'm just kind of hoping that right now it's spiking like crazy. And if you wanted to collect for the Xbox 360, it was a great time. Maybe you can still sneak in there and get some good ones, but I think it's already a bit too late for a lot of them. So I think we got to wait and see if it comes back down. Maybe it'll stabilize, because people just, these prices are artificial at the end of the day, and that's something you got to remember. They're completely artificial. So some stabilize, some don't. It really comes out to how many there are available and all that. But yeah, like, I mean, who would have ever thought? We don't think about like 360 games, man. GameStop, they used to just push them out like, dude, buy one get 3 free. We don't even care. Like, get these games off our shelves.
That's not even kidding either. I remember going when I was younger with the Xbox 360. This was like before the PS4 or those even existed. So this was still like in that, like these are still the main consoles. You go to GameStop and be like, buy one get 2 free, and like there'll be like so many games are like $5. Like good games are just like, it's $5. Oh, this game's like $2. Did not care one bit about like
Nope.
a lot of those games. That's where all my collection came from. Was going to GameStop and get all those deals. I would get like 20 games for like $70. It's like insane.
Well, me and you would talk about. It's funny. Even before me and Ryder became good friends, we will tell each other stories, and it's like we there's a lot of times where it's like we sometimes feel like we're the same person, because we like did a lot of the same things. And one of the things we used to do, and a lot of people probably did this, but instead of taking the $50 that I got for allowance or whatever, I took that $50, and I wasn't like, oh, let me go buy the new $50, $60 game. It was, I'm gonna see how many Xbox 360 games I can get with this $50.
Yep, what I would do.
And we're talking anything goes. So I bought some shit.
Yeah,
Literal
me too,
fucking
man.
useless coaster shit, like bad stuff. But I also bought some good stuff, so it evens out.
Yeah.
But it really was, I was going for quantity, not quality.
Yeah, that's pretty much what I would do. I always had like the thing where I would go in and be like, okay, I want to get like these 2 games, and then see what else I can just like throw in with it. Where it'd be like, oh, let me go in and get Burnout Paradise because I actually want Burnout Paradise. And then let me look at, and then all of a sudden I'm like coming home with Burnout Paradise and then like 3 Madden games because they're like $1. And then
Yep.
because I actually bought sports games with it too back then, where it'd be like that's why I have like Madden 06 up to like 12, like Madden 12, because they were all like $1. Like if they were more than $1, I wouldn't buy them.
Yeah.
But I have like 2 NCAA games, like. I have some garbage, man, on the 360.
And there's a lot of garbage to be had on 360, that's for sure.
Yeah,
That
yes,
era
there
has
is.
some shitters.
Yeah, let's put it lightly.
Off the top of your
Burger
head.
King games, baby.
Oh,
Hell yeah.
Yeah, God. You know that guy that's trying to buy all the what is he trying to buy? He's trying to buy up all the copies of Sneak King, maybe, I think it is.
Really?
Yeah, there's like some dude he's trying to own every single copy of Sneak King or
Well, he ain't
one of the
getting
Burger
mine.
King games. Yeah, one of the Burger King games. Let's say off the top of your head, I have to think too, and that's kind of putting us on the spot, but because we used to go in and do that, Xbox 360 roulette with $50, can you think off the top of your head, like, what were some of the best and worst games that you grabbed? Like, ones that, like, you look back and, like, you took a chance, you're like, this ended up being great, or, yep, this was definitely a $1 game.
One I always think about is I got the orange box on 360. It was literally like $5, which like
Great.
insane price for that game.
Really
insane
is.
Insane price for that game. I can't believe they had it for only $5. But that was what I didn't know anything about. I just picked it up because it was cheap, and then
Yep.
it ended up being like, oh, it has Portal and Half-Life 2 on it, and Team Fortress 2, but I didn't have one line then, so.
Did you even know that it was more than one game, or did you just think it was the
No.
Orange Box was the game? Like, it was a game called the Orange Box?
Dude, I probably literally what it was. It was literally like I like turned it over. It was like $5, and I grabbed it. And like it might say on the back like, oh, it has like 5 games. So I was like, oh, 5 games. That's like $1 a game.
It might have been one of those. Well, if you grab one more game, you get another one free. Just grab the nearest one.
Yeah, I've done that before too.
Yeah, put that in the pile.
I have like I have like that one Xbox Live compilation game, where it has
Yep.
what it has like Feeding Frenzy, like Boom Boom Rocket or
Like
whatever.
Peggle, stuff like that.
Yeah, it does have that one. Does have Pac-Man Championship Edition, which is like so good. Like I can't believe how good that is. But I love Pac-Man Championship Edition. It's like the best. It's my favorite form of Pac-Man, like basic Pac-Man I've ever played.
Okay, I'm glad you brought that up because, again, I mentioned it last episode. I'm still chugging along on the All Gen Gamers podcast, and they were Pete Dorr brought up Pac-Man Championship Edition and how like he got addicted to it.
Yeah.
And it was like he couldn't stop playing. It's like one more, like one more try, one more go, and it had like the online leaderboards and all that. So sadly, I missed out on that. But I've heard you bring that up multiple times, and it's like it must have been a lot of fun for you to bring up Pac-Man because like
yes,
Pac-Man
was
is
fun,
just Pac-Man at the end of the day, right?
Yeah, because like I don't care about basic Pac-Man. Excuse me, sorry, or like Miss Pac-Man. Like I don't really care about them. And I played a lot of those because in Pac-Man World 2, you unlock tokens and you unlock like arcade cabinets in the one like hub world where you go and it's like, oh, you got like 20 tokens, so you unlock the way you can play Pac-Man and you can play Pac-Man in Pac-Man World 2.
That's awesome.
And you unlock,
I
like
love
a bunch. Yeah, you get like Miss Pac-Man, you get like Pac-Man Junior. The one I really like is Pac-Mania. Pac-Mania is awesome. It's like 3D Pac-Man where you can like jump. It's really cool. I really like that one. But that and Pac-Man World Championship Edition are like the only 2 versions of Pac-Man where I legit would like just sit down and play them because they're like really fun.
Yeah.
Like they're really Pac-Man Championship Edition is so good, dude. Oh, it's so fun.
Who would have thought?
Not me. Definitely not me. What about you? You got any? I want to keep thinking here.
I definitely know one that was like an absolute dud of a game for me. Now, I'm not saying this game is necessarily bad, but all the stars aligned for it to fucking suck for me. And it was a game called Dungeon Siege 3. and I didn't know what I was getting into. I
Is
had
that the one
never
with like the three
played.
in the middle? Like it's in the middle of the words.
I think
Are they
I
red?
it's got a dragon on the front,
I think I
like
know what you're
breathing
talking
fire.
about. Yeah,
It
yeah. I
was
think I can see
literally
the case.
99 cents, like actually.
Okay, yeah.
And it looked really cool. And if I played it now, I probably wouldn't even mind it. But, you know, got to keep in mind back then I was really heavy on the first person shooters. I think a lot of people were on the 360 era because of what I said before. That was the online era. That was when we didn't care about a lot of things, or people didn't care about a lot of things and whatnot. And that's where JRPGs went to die. Was that generation, really? So like there was just, if it wasn't a first person shooter or a shooter at all, people were kicking it to the curb, and I was one of them. I'll admit it. So this game played like Diablo. I don't know why I just called it Diablo. This game played like Diablo. I don't know why I say it like that. Uh, so it was like Diablo, and I just didn't understand it. I didn't know what it was. Like, man, this is a 99-cent game all day. This game sucks. Like, kick it to the curb. So I have like vivid memories of putting that in and just hating it. But I guarantee if I put it in now, and because it's a local co-op, that's a game that me and you'd probably be like, yeah, this ain't bad. Like, it's probably not fan. It's probably like a 6 out of 10, right? Like,
Yeah.
but back then I was like, this is trash. Like, get this off my screen. As far as good,
Good.
man, that's tough. What 360 game did I grab on a whim? Oh,
Couple of
another
good
one.
ones I can think
Another
of,
one.
then. Okay, go ahead.
That's even worse than Dungeon Sheets. Probably the worst one that I ever grabbed. Again, $1.99, and I overpaid. Was Too Human.
Oh my god, I have it too, man. That game is trash.
That game is legitimately, in my opinion, the worst game on that system. That is an actual game. Like, that is a full-fledged video game as far as development, money spent. Like, it's not some like indie shovelware. Like, no, this is a game, and it sucks.
That game does suck. That game is really bad, man.
Another disappointing one for me that my opinion would probably change nowadays was Mass Effect. Picked up
Okay.
Mass Effect real cheap.
Hey, same
Got
for
stuck
me.
on the ship, and I was like, this game sucks.
Hey,
And
man.
you have played it now and liked it.
Yes.
I don't know if you loved it, but you
Yeah.
liked it. So I know that I probably would like it too. But you know, back then, again, I was like, what is this? This is stupid. I don't know what I'm doing. My attention span as a kid was really bad, really bad. So that was not a game for me. So again, I'm not saying Mass Effect's a bad game, but at the time that was like I regretted my purchase, and it was 99 cents.
I really regretted mine because I bought it, got to like I would get to like through the first planet and it would freeze and wouldn't go further, so I had to buy it again. So
That's really bad.
yeah, I don't know if I ever told you that I bought it twice.
No, I don't think you ever did. I didn't know
Yeah,
you had to buy it twice.
yeah, I have two copies here. Um, then I bought it twice, then went through the first planet, got to the ship, and I hated it. So a game I bought twice. Now it wasn't like I think for me it was probably like $10. I do know I think when I re-bought it, it was more than when I first bought it. So I think it went up a little bit. So it might have been like I probably got it before Mass Effect 3 release and then after Mass Effect 3 release, so it probably went up a little bit.
Yeah.
Um,
I
but yeah,
actually
that was
got
a game
mine
I
in the
hated.
trilogy.
Really,
Because the trilogy at one point was so cheap, dude. Like
it is.
I probably paid $5. That's probably the legit price I paid, was probably $5 for the trilogy.
There's a couple things like that I wish I just had. Like I just wish I had that just because they're cool to look at.
Yeah, I don't have it
Even
anymore.
if I even if I have all three of Mass Effects, like if I got the trilogy for like really cheap, it would look cool.
Yep. 100%.
Like just something like them double case games would look cool. Where it's like, oh, there's like here's like a 2-pack of them. It's like, oh, that's cool. But
Okay. I thought of a good one finally.
okay, there you go.
I thought of a good one, because I did not get this game until a lot later. So this is not going to be a shock to people that this was good, but I didn't play this until a while after it came out, and that was Red Dead Redemption. That was one that I got for like $5, and I was like, okay, this was like a gem of a purchase. Now, you got to keep in mind, I was a kid, you know, I was born in 1998. I'm not that old. I'm 26. So I I still kind of grew up with the 360, right? I was a preteen going into teen playing 360. So, um, it was like one of those things where I didn't really understand Rockstar. I was like, oh, Rockstar made this. I didn't care about the developer. I didn't care about
Yeah.
anything other than like I looked at the case, blah blah blah. Maybe so it's like I didn't put two and two together that this is going to be a good game, and I didn't have any friends that played it, so because they were all playing Call of Duty. But that was definitely a pleasant surprise game for me, which again is obvious. But it sounded like you were going to say something, so if you remember, I don't know. But
I'm trying to think. Like the thing with me, that's when I would buy like the 20 games, I didn't even like check them and play them till like sometimes years later.
yeah,
Not even, like
yeah.
I'm not even kidding. So like Lost Odyssey's one I got for really cheap then, but I probably didn't play it for like literally probably like 6 years till after I got it.
Okay, but do you think that's a good thing for that game, or do you think it would have been fine?
Probably. If I would have played that game, I'm trying to think. Would I have enjoyed that game as much if I played it like years before? And the answer is no, I would not have. I probably wouldn't have liked it at
Yeah.
all because of JRPG.
Because like, do you think you would have ever went back to it? You know, like it may have gotten the one and done,
Yeah.
never leave the drawer treatment.
That's and I definitely wouldn't have went back to because I would have been like, oh, it's 4 discs. This game's like 1,000 hours.
Yeah, yeah, 1,000 hours.
No.
Same thing I thought with Shenmue. Goddamn, 3
Yeah.
discs. How long's this game?
Yeah, and if I played that and got like a bit into it, I probably would never have gone back to it.
What up? You know, because
That's a good
because
one
we're
though.
yeah, yeah,
Real good one actually.
I'm-
I love that game, dude. I love that game so much.
that game is like, other than Final Fantasy 13 and obviously 13-2 and Lightning Returns. I mean, what, like when you think of JRPGs on that system and in general from that generation, that one, from what I hear, because I've never personally played it, it might be the best. Like the praise that game, we're speaking about Lost Odyssey, of course, the praise that game gets, it's like it was when it came out, it was like people felt like they had just been visited by Jesus Christ himself, and he was like, I'm here to save JRPGs on this generation of consoles because you're not getting any and it's bone dry. So, you know, again, I never played it, so I can't speak on that, but I feel like from what I heard, it might be the best JRPG of that generation for those system. I know it's a 360 exclusive, but
when you say generation, are you including PS3?
yeah.
And what would have been the Nintendo Wii? I guess the Wii.
Yeah. What are that? Maybe Xenoblade. Well, see,
Xenoblade's the only one I can
Xenoblade
think
came pretty late though
Yeah, I think it
for
did.
us.
Yeah.
It was European first, and it took a bit to come out. I think it came out 2012, 2013. Which I mean, it still happened. I'm not saying it's discounted because it's late, but like, you know, Last Story, that was a Wii one. PS3
What's
wise,
that
I
other one?
can't.
Arc Rise Fantasia. Is that right?
That one I don't know.
I think
I've
that's a
heard of it,
Wii.
but I don't know that one very well.
What else is on 360? You've got that Infinite Undiscovery game that Tucker bought not too long ago. I'd actually like to have that, by the way. To have that.
Well, you can take that from him like you did as Silent Hill.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah.
That's a
Sure.
joke, by the way. That's in case Tucker's listening. He didn't actually take your game. That's a joke. What, the Last Remnant?
The Last Remnant's bad though, ain't it?
Oh, I don't know. I don't know.
That's the one you can get soft lock if you like level up too much or something.
Well, that does sound bad. Like that definitely
Yeah.
sounds like bad game design.
I can't even think of some other like Blue Dragon. Lost Odyssey blows Blue Dragon out of the water.
Blue
I haven't even played
Dragon,
Blue
man.
Dragon, and I just know it does. You play it, and you didn't really care for it.
I wanted to love it so much. It's just it's like it is a JRPG. Like that's like, I don't have anything bad to say, but I don't have anything good to say. Like, it's just generic. It's generic, but that makes it boring. At the end of the day, it makes it boring. Akira Toriyama, rest in peace, the GOAT. Love the art, love all that, but you know, as far as the game, nah, it was just boring. Just
Plus, you lost your progress, right?
Yeah, I made it about 8 hours in, and
Yeah, don't help.
the Chinese knockoff hard drive that I bought on Amazon failed. Shocker, right? Who'd have thought that the fucking hard drive I got for a fifth of the price wouldn't last? So yeah, I lost my save, and I was like, you know what? I'm just done with this game, and yeah, I won't play that game probably again. I think I got enough out of it to realize like, I tried. It's not that good, but it has its fan base, as everything does.
What else though? Like JRPG wise,
Um,
I know
what was
one
that?
game
What was
that
that crazy gun, like tactics or turn-based game with a gun? Oh man, darn it!
what?
It's like really over the top, like. Oh
Oh,
man,
on the PS3.
yeah, PS3, Xbox.
Dude, I
I don't
have
know
it.
if it's on Xbox.
I have. You're talking about the one I have, right?
I
Residence of Fate.
that
Talking about
sounds
Residence.
right. That sounds right.
Where,
I'm doing
where
a
you like,
Google
where they
search.
like,
I don't care.
where they like leap in the air and they're doing like backflips while
Yeah,
shooting.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah, that's
yeah.
Resident. Yeah, it's Residence of Fate.
Okay. Oh,
That's PS3 only.
I've heard people love that game.
Yeah, I have that. I need to try that. I need to try that and Valkyria Chronicles out.
You said Resonance of Fate?
Yeah, Residence of Fate.
That came out on PS4, PS3, and Xbox 360.
It is on 360. Oh, okay.
Yeah, I thought it was. It's a Sega release.
I thought it was a PS3 only game.
Yeah, this is it though. Like I said, Metal Jesus loves this game, and I'm not saying I really take his opinion, or I'm not saying I don't take his opinion serious. I love him; he's great. I don't. I'm not too familiar with how he is with JRPGs, so I don't know if like him loving this is really like, oh, okay, it must be good, because I don't really know. I didn't know this was on PS4 though. I did not know that.
Is it in English? North America release?
Let me look, because I feel like it
Sometimes
didn't get a physical copy.
It must not have, because I've never seen it.
Came
It's
out
either
3 years ago. I think so.
it's either digital only or Japan only.
Seems like it's can't get like a I can't really get like a I think it's digital only. It's $35 on the US store.
Is it?
Residence of Fate 4K HD edition. $35. I did not know this existed, so I thought it was locked on that generation. But
Yeah, me too. Oh, there it is. Yeah.
that's crazy. I don't know, maybe I would try that. I'm gonna add this to my wish list, so that way next time it goes on sale, PlayStation will let me know. And maybe think about trying it out, because I thought from the videos I've seen, it looks pretty interesting. And
Yeah, I need to try it. I need to whip it out and try it sometime. Just like, because it's like, I don't really know much about it. It just looks like a really crazy game.
yeah, no, that's what caught my eye. It just seems so unique. Like it's like one of those games like you'll never play another game like it type of game.
Oh shit.
So definitely
That and
that was interesting.
Valkyria Chronicles is another one I need to
Yeah, that one for
try
sure.
out.
See, that's definitely a tactics game. That's like an XCOM game, isn't it?
I think so. Yeah. Valkyria Chronicles 4 is on sale right now.
We got big rain over here. Big rain. Sorry if you hear it on my air conditioner. It's raining hard. Yeah, I don't even know what we were talking about, where we just kind of went off on a tangent about Renaissance of Fate, but
It's me and you talking. That's just how it goes.
it's so true. So true.
Man, can I bury the PS3 right now?
Yeah, I
Maybe
love
I'm
burying the
just
PS3. I love the PS3, but I love burying it.
Okay, I love JRPGs. I swear to God, whenever I think of JRPGs though, on like the PS3, it's always like the most anime weeb bullshit, dude.
It's true.
Like, why?
Why?
Like, is there
NIS,
anything like
right? like the
Yeah.
NIS games, like that company. Atlas gets a pass.
Yes. Okay, well, I'm not. So not, are there, like, does Atlas even have any JRPGs on the PS3?
Well, I guess. Well, maybe not. I don't know. I don't know if like
Persona 5,
JRPGs.
which nobody remembers, the Persona 5 being on the PS3. That's always one of them games that seems like it's a PS4 only game. It didn't release on
'Cause,
the
like, I know
previous generation, but it did.
like 3D Dot Game Heroes, but that's not really a JRPG. At least that's not what we consider a JRPG.
I wouldn't consider that a JRPG. I don't
Um,
consider Dark Souls JRPG.
nah, yeah,
Just
me
throwing it
either.
out there. Just throwing it out there.
Yeah, actually, Atlas they had what like they actually had mainly action combat games. Where I can think of like 3D Dot Game
Their
Heroes, Dragon's Crown.
their JRPGs were on like the DS. That's where they were putting their
Yeah,
JRPGs on.
and they were knocking it out of the park. So that's dude, the
Yeah,
DS. That's a fucking JRPG machine.
I know.
God damn.
Yeah, you're telling me it just sucks
Damn.
the price of them.
Yeah,
Absolutely sucks the price
it's.
of them.
Speaking of which, local game store by us just got a metric fuck ton of DS games traded in,
Oh, really?
and they posted a picture. Now, since we're on the topic, I'm gonna read out some notable ones here live on the fly.
Yeah, I haven't seen this, so.
So, and some 3DS stuff. All the Etrian Odyssey games on DS and 3DS. Complete in box.
Is that like 4? How many is there?
There's 3 on the DS and 2 on the 3DS.
Okay.
1, 2, 3, and then 4, 5, or whatever.
Okay.
Actually, yeah. Lunar,
They're like
Dragon
super
Song.
expensive. That's the bad one, right?
Yes. The Final Fantasy 12 game. It's got a subtitle, I can't remember the name. Yeah.
Remnant Wings. That's like a TRPG, I think. It's like a tactical game.
These are all complete in box, by the way, or in box.
Okay.
I can't see if there's no manual, but Final Fantasy 4.
They all have the case.
Yeah.
God, I'd love to have that.
Final Fantasy 4, Final Fantasy 3.
Okay, makes sense.
On the 3DS, we got Radiant Historia, Perfect Chronology, another
at, like, the
Etrian
top of my
Odyssey
list.
Nexus, which is like a box edition, Persona Q 2, I think that is, or 3. I can't.
I don't know what that game is, but I know what
Oh.
you're talking about.
Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles, Golden Sun Dark Age, which is one I have. It's not that great.
Is that
Valkyrie
that's the-
Profile. That's DS, just DS.
Yes. Okay.
Valkyrie Profile, Chrono Trigger,
Huh?
Heroes of Mana, another Persona Q game, Sigma Star, the Shin Megami Tensei 4, Apocalypse, the Shin Megami Tensei, Strange Journey or whatever.
Yeah, Strange Journey.
Another Etrian Odyssey game that I don't know.
Jesus. I didn't-
Fantasy Life on 3DS. That's a game my cousin swears by. Radiant Historia, just normal DS copy with the box.
So yeah, you get so they got both in.
Yeah, I mean, just it's hard to read them all. They didn't take the greatest pictures, but I mean, just crazy. Like to see, I mean, just like 4 stacks of DS games and then like a stack of PSP games. It's just like it has me so tempted to make a trip because it's like, dang, dude, like there's some games I would love to snag out of that pile, but I'm not going to. I need to conserve my money.
Yeah.
But we were talking the one day we were talking about the Etrian Odyssey games. I don't remember why. But I did actually download on my modded 3DS. I did download Etrian Odyssey like 3. Like I just picked a random one and downloaded it. And I'm just gonna try it. I just want to see how they play. That's it. I'm just curious. So speaking of Etrian Odyssey, that's
We probably brought her up because we were talking about the remake or the not remake, the re-release, the collection, because they did like a
Yeah, yeah,
collection
yeah.
or something like that on Switch,
Oh,
I think.
there is that Switch Etrian Odyssey collection. That's right.
Yeah,
How much is that bad boy?
I do not know.
Yeah, I forgot about that. I'm curious how many people would recommend that game. Oh my
Because I know
god. Okay.
it auto maps. I know it auto maps the dungeons.
And it's apparently must be hard to find right now because the only one on Amazon is the PAL version for $90.
Damn.
It's 1, 2,
What's
3
one, two,
remaster,
three?
HD
Okay.
remaster, Etrian Odyssey Switch. I'm like, man, yeah, it's like
Yeah, that's not on PlayStation, right? I'm looking.
no, I think it's a Switch only.
Yeah, I don't think so. I don't even know how
Did
to
it
spell
not
that
get a
shit.
North American release? Is it only Play Asia and other places? I don't see I don't. I think physical it never got a North American release, but yeah, it's another, like I said, another game I wanted to try was Etrian Odyssey. Uh, dude, I'm still waiting for my RetroTink 5X that I ordered, my upscaler. I got the cables in,
Damn.
and it hasn't even shipped yet. It's like I think I'm spoiled. I think Amazon ruined me
Oh, yeah,
because
I
it's
can
like,
see that.
well, I ordered the thing a week ago and it hasn't shipped yet, and I'm just like, normally I'm so used to like you order something a week ago, you'll have it by now, and it hasn't even
Yeah.
shipped yet, and I'm like, man, like, come on, because like I'm in this weird boat where I don't even want to play anything until I get it, and my excuse is dumb. I'm weird, but I'm trying to like forget what the CRT looks like so that way when I play on the upscalers, I'm not direct comparing it because I know the CRT is how I want to play. I know it looks great and I want to play it that way. But with me moving, I'm not going to be able to bring it. So I'm trying to untrain my eyes on what a CRT looks like. So that way the upscalers don't look so jarring to me. But I think it'll be fine either way. But yeah, I'm just waiting on that to keep chugging along with Xenogears. Because that game, I started that game up since the last pod, and that's been fun. Um,
So is that the one? Is that your like main game right now?
really, nothing's my main game right now.
Okay.
I don't like I said, until I get the upscaler, nothing really is. That's why I just finished Dark Souls again. Uh,
Yeah,
did
how'd
a
that
whole
go?
stream on TikTok. That was
Yeah,
fine.
did you stream it all? The
Yeah,
whole
I
thing?
streamed all of it. All of it was live. It was the first. Well, Azura's Wrath was the first game I beat all the way like
Yeah.
on stream in general, and then it was Dark Souls. I beat it. And it went pretty good. It went pretty smooth. I think I did pretty well. I think I died in the whole playthrough. I probably died like 7 times, 8 times. So it went pretty smooth. Um, the the chat, this one person in chat, shout out if you're watching, because I obviously I let everybody know about the channel and whatnot, and I was actually telling them I was streaming today, and I was like, oh, I'm getting off, I'm gonna record a podcast, and they were all like, oh, link it to me, I want to listen. So if you guys are listening, what's up? But the one guy, he was like, oh, he's like, I think it's gonna take you 3 tries on Gwyn.
Yeah.
Walked into the Gwyn area. You know, like, I don't know if you remember, but he like what he did for me is he opened up with like a jump attack,
Yeah. Yeah. So he does pretty much every
instantly
time.
parried his ass, right? Instantly
Yeah.
parried
Yep.
it.
Yeah.
I didn't miss a single parry and just one shot him. Like,
Okay.
and it was like it's funny because I didn't do any parrying practice throughout the whole game. I didn't parry the knights up to the boss. Like I just went like I'm just walking in and seeing how I do. That
Do you
he might be
use
the
the
easiest enemy to parry.
He might be. Do you use the like Estus trick on him,
No.
or like the item trick where like when you parry him and hit him, if you like immediately use like an item, he like always does the same exact attack every
Really?
time. He does like he does like the slow swing, I think,
Interesting. I didn't know that.
and you can just parry him.
No, I
I don't even want to talk about Gwyn because the last time I had to fight Gwyn was on my low one run, and he was the worst enemy in the game to fight. He was
yeah.
so hard. Like he
That's
was unbelievably so hard.
well, it's funny because like I parried him to death, And if people in the chat room were like, didn't even know you could parry him. I'm like, I've never fought him without parrying him. I only
Yeah,
parried him ever. I've never
yeah.
fought him
No,
without parrying, so
I've
I thought it
never
was
fought
pretty
him without
funny.
parrying.
Yeah,
I've
they were
heard
like,
actually he's like way harder if you don't parry him. He's like really
oh,
hard.
probably. But yeah, they were all like, I'm gonna try that next time. And I'm like, yeah, it's kind of trivializing the game because, um, but yeah, it was awesome. I'm gonna say something live here for the first time ever. Dark Souls 1 is the best Dark Souls in the trilogy.
Oh really?
It is better than 3.
Oh, he came back around, huh?
It is better than 3, and it's not even recency bias, of course. If I went and played 3 right now, I'm telling you I would not say 3 is better than 1. This playthrough, for some reason, really solidified how fucking good Dark Souls 1 is for me.
That
It just
game is
clicked in,
unbelievable,
dude.
man, isn't it? The
The
game's unbelievable,
fucking
dude.
area, the level design, the areas, like the fucking bosses, the enemies, just because now I have nostalgia for that game. Just the fucking sound of your armor clanking when you're running is like soothing to me in that game. That game is just so charming that playing it, I couldn't help but have a smile on my face the whole time, just like thinking this game is so special and it's a masterpiece. And it's really special to me because obviously, just like for you, it opened up our eyes to the Souls franchise. It was our first introduction, not Demon Souls. We played Dark Souls. So just in general, it's such a powerful game for me, and playing it again, I'm just so glad that I loved it as much as I did because I was like, man, I want to say this is my favorite one. Like, I just want to say that. And after beating it, I was like, no, I can comfortably, easily say it is the best Dark Souls game out of the 3.
I think. When was the last time you played it? Like
When we
before
co-opted
this?
it.
When we co-opted it. Well, so when was the last time you played it solo? Then.
Oh my god. All the
So,
way
but it would
through?
have just been you. Yeah, like it was just you and your thoughts on it
When the remaster first came out.
when the
That week.
remaster first came
That
out.
week. And that was the last time I played through it by myself.
Yeah, because because every time we ever talked about Dark Souls, pretty much a lot of times we're talking about negatives of the first game. It seems, maybe kind of like forgot a little bit of how good the first one really is. You know?
Well, yeah, because like I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, oh, this part's annoying, and then there's no warping, and then but it's like then you really start to realize the lack of warping is what makes it so fucking good.
I know. Yeah, yeah,
Like
you ain't
that,
wrong there, dude.
it's not that it's like, oh, we need a quality of life of it, you being able to warp to every bonfire right away. It's like, no, that's not it at all. Thank God, because you know how cool it was? Because I had to sit down, I'm like, okay, how do I get there again? Oh yeah, you go from Firelink and you go up and then you take the elevator. Like, I had to think about like how to get to places, and 90% of it was like start at Firelink Shrine and you'll get there. And it was awesome. It was just so cool. And so like we used to talk about that being a detriment and like certain areas, certain things, but it's like and I will say the playthrough went super smooth, and that definitely helps, right? Nothing, I wasn't getting stuck anywhere, I wasn't getting frustrated, so that does help. But just it really made me realize like I don't really have any complaints about the game. Other than the bed of chaos, the game is perfect. And the bed of chaos does fucking suck. It really does. It is the worst boss in video game history for me personally. But
Literally, dude. From Software just put an update. Have you change it? Just like put like a regular mob enemy in there. Just put like a regular NPC enemy or something in there. Change it.
yeah.
It's not too
like,
late.
But like in its end, I love how short it is.
Yeah, it
And
is really short.
it's awesome because to me that means replayability. That speaks to me in the words of replayability. And I do want to mention I did not play the DLC. And I went right into New Game Plus because I told myself I'm not doing the DLC. And you might think that's crazy. But this for me was like a nostalgia run.
Let's see.
This was like the DLC wasn't out yet for me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
This was
yeah.
just I wanted to take the game in, the base game. I just wanted to take it in. I went right into New Game Plus and stopped so that way I didn't play the DLC because the DLC is great. It's fantastic. I'm not knocking it. But I really just wanted to go in and just play the base game and have my opinion wrapped around that because I think the DLCs for most of From Software's games are kind of the best part of the games for me personally, other than Dark Souls 2. But even some people say Dark Souls 2 has the best DLC of any FromSoft game. I've heard that, so people love
You
that.
might
But
say like people love the second DLC,
yeah,
the flame one.
yeah,
People
they
love that
do.
one.
But like Dark Souls 3 DLC,
Whatever.
fantastic, right?
That's really good.
The like every DLC is always like the best, and even the first one, you know, you got Manus, you got Artorias, right? The cool bosses.
Artorias is the fucking coolest
You
dude,
got
man.
not Calamite because that's Dark Souls 3. Um
No, you're right.
no, it is
Yeah, you're right.
Dark Eater Madir, that's 3.
That's
Calamite's
three.
1.
That's three.
So like you got just really cool bosses. So cuz like for me in Dark Souls 1, the best boss fight is Ornstein Smough, and I think that's like such a cliche answer. But I do think that is the coolest boss fight in the base game.
I think that's the best boss fight in the base game.
Yeah.
I have it second overall. I have Artorias. I love Artorias.
Yeah, Artorias is yeah.
He's
But
like the best.
the second favorite is probably Sif for me. Kind of
Really?
lore reasons, I'll be honest.
Lore boy over here.
Yeah, that for lore reasons really cool. But yeah, it was just awesome to play through Dark Souls and have that appreciation come over me again and I if anyone was curious, my build, pure strength with a Chaos Y-hander. I didn't know about the Giant Dad build until someone came in and mentioned that I should try it. And I didn't complete the Giant Dad build completely, so I was calling it the Medium Dad build. So that's my build. And
Yeah, don't they use like Smo's armor or something for it?
they used the giant armor, which I did do.
Oh, yeah, I guess that makes sense. Yeah.
I just didn't do some of the really tedious stuff, but so I beat that, and it was fantastic. And before this podcast, I was streaming some Bloodborne, doing a playthrough of that on there. Basically, just waiting for my retro tink. I was just playing games like that, and also I had a really strong desire to play some 3DS. Because on the podcast that I've been listening to, the 3DS is still the big thing, and they keep talking about the 3DS. So now I'm like, it's just made me want to play my 3DS. You know, I got influenced. But, what about, so that's pretty much like right now I'm just playing Bloodborne and just kind of waiting, for my RetroTink. But, what's next on your agenda? Have you moved on yet, or have you,
Yeah, that's where I'm at right now. I'm at like where you have to pick the next game, which is always the worst thing to do ever for us. Trying to pick what game to play next.
Hard. It's so hard to pick a game because you end up playing like an hour of a game, and they're like, we talked about this in the first episode, and it's just the truest thing in the world. Like, it's funny, I was listening to it, and I was like, yep, that's just 100% true. Is like, you think you really want to play a game, so you're like, oh man, okay, I'm starting up this game. You hear like one person, like for me, it's like Xenogears, right? I'm like, I want to start up Xenogears. I heard like one person talk about how good Dragon Quest VIII is, and I'm like, now I want to play Dragon Quest VIII. Then you hear like one person talk about how good Lost Odyssey is, well, now I want to play Lost Odyssey. Like, I'm so easily influenced by when people talk about something they love, and I'm like, oh yeah, I could play that. Man, now I kind of want to play that. Should I drop the one I'm playing now and play that?
I watched a video that a dude just did. He did like he did top 10 and top 10 worst and best like JRPG protagonists, and then he did another one that was like antagonists. And for protagonists, like near the top was Faye from Xenogears.
Hell yeah.
He starts talking about him. He's like, it's kind of hard to talk about Faye without going into spoilers. So I instantly just skipped ahead to the next section.
Yep.
And I was like, okay, well, I gotta skip this one because sadly, a lot of the list was like Trails games, games.
There's
There was
a lot of
a couple
characters in those games. So
yeah, it was like Tales of games. So I'm kind of just like,
Yeah.
I'm not really interested in this. There was like, what else did he have? Oh, his like favorite protagonist was like a dude from like Artanelico. I'm like,
really, Artanelli.
Yeah, I'm like,
That's
okay.
cool though. I love that stuff. I love when people say like their favorite thing is from something that is like, oh really? Like that's not what I expected.
yeah, I can't remember which one it was because like he had whatever. Like when like the first Artanelco game, like when the protagonist was like near the top of the worst list, but then like he also had like number one was like from like the second Artanelco game. It's like I don't even know what these games are really. Like
I don't know.
yeah,
It's
like, I
it's
don't
it's
really
something
know
you've
'em.
heard the name a million times, but no clue what it even is or how it's played. That's good. It's cool as Faye was
That's
up there. Faye
yeah.
Faye Wong Long or whatever his name is. Faye Fong Wong.
That
Yeah, Faye Fong Wong.
Fei Fong Wong.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
that's like the holy grail for me though for that game. That's like
Dude.
I really want to play Xenogears, man. Every time I hear about the game, it's literally like this is like the best JRPG ever. Like
Well,
it's so good.
I'm 8 hours in and it's fucking awesome. I'm actually struggling to not play it right now because I'm like, come on, upscaler, like come on, just come on in, because like I might end up just fucking biting the bullet and playing some more because I just got done doing a part where I'm like, man, like this game's fucking sick and I want to keep going. And as someone who's not a mech fan, I think I'm slowly becoming a mech fan. Not like I'm gonna collect Gundams or anything, but like Armored Core was awesome. That was a really cool game, and that was mechs. I found myself like really loving the mech stuff in Helldivers, like the enemies. Xenogears got the mech. It's like you hop in the mech in Xenogears, and you're like, oh fuck yeah, man! Like this shit's sick. So I think like slowly I'm kind of like, man, maybe mechs are pretty cool. Maybe I was missing out on mechs. Fucking
But
sick.
I kind of just went on because you said about listening to people and you like hear them say about one thing about games. I really don't know what to play next. Right now, I still need to get back to playing hard mode and Rebirth. I haven't played that in like a while. I was doing like the post game content for Star Ocean 2. I'm trying to
Yep.
finish that up. So I was like doing all the raid bosses, and I was just annihilating them all with my bloody armor build till I got to one who was like his like gimmick was bloody armor not allowed. So I'm like, oh, I actually have to like figure out a strategy for him because it's literally the raid boss. It's literally the final boss of the game as a
Oh,
raid boss.
okay.
So he's like super hyped up and he like annihilated me in like 2 seconds. I'm like, uh oh. But
That's
that's what
bad
I'm
news.
working on. So I'm kind of just doing that. I think I'm feeling like playing like Miles Morales. It's kind of what I'm feeling. Just
Okay.
because it's like I feel like I could just kind of like breeze through that game.
Mm-hmm.
It's not long at all. It's like a pretty short game, and I don't really have to like put any effort into it. You know what I mean?
Yep.
It's like I don't have to like, really think. It's not like a game where I have to think what I'm doing. I could just like kind of play and just kind of like chug along, and I don't have to like super pay attention to it or anything. So I'm thinking that's probably what I'm going to play next. Is Miles Morales.
Kind
It
of
really,
sounds like. Oh, go ahead.
I literally, this is what really made me want to play it. What the how long to beat, you know?
Yeah.
And it's like 8.5 hours.
Yeah.
I'm like, all right, yeah, that's like nothing. It's like
That's-
nothing at all.
That's kind of why Azura's Wrath spoke to me because I was like, because I'll say like lately I've been in like the Xbox 360 PS3 era mood And kind of for the same reason you're talking, like Azura's Wrath, it's like, okay, that's like a 9-hour game. I'm like, that's awesome. Like, I'm so down to play that. Like, I was thinking about popping in like Dante's Inferno because I hadn't really played that personally. Like, I don't know, just anything right now. Any game that's like 10 hours sounds like fantastic to me. And the 360 era is filled with that. A lot of games that I had not
Lot.
gotten to play. Same with PS3. But the whole
Yeah, I got a
backwards
lot of
compatible
PS3
like
games. Yeah.
upscale really, or FPS boost and stuff really does entice me to play the 360 versions. But so you know, it's like I was maybe gonna dig through and find something there to play. So it's like, yeah, I'm kind of in the same boat where um, like a 10-hour game just sounds like an absolute sweet spot, you know, because when you're on limited free time, that doesn't sound so bad. Like 3 sessions and you beat it and enjoy it and have fun, as long as you have fun, I guess.
It's nothing. Yeah, it's like nothing. Having like, you get like 2 days off in a row, and you
Yep.
got like nothing going on at all. You'd probably like almost beat the game like the 2 days. Like that's cool. That's
Yeah.
like the kids. That's like the kids stuff. Remember the kids when you're like on a
Uh-huh.
weekend? It's like I got nothing going on. Let me play this game. They beat. It's like a
Hell
brand new
yeah.
game.
It would, and that's the one thing that is just so different when you're an adult is, you know, not only have we kind of, I feel like games are evolving with us and it's great, but it's a detriment because as we're getting older, these games keep getting longer, and it's like, so you're telling me back when I was a kid, I was getting all these 10-hour games, and I was probably like dying for more. Like, man, I want to, this is only 10 hours, and I got all summer vacation, and but now it's like these games come out, they're like 90 hours, and you're like, damn, I'll finish this in 2 months. It's like, could you imagine, man, getting the games we're getting now and like still having summer break? That'd be unreal.
If we as adults had a summer break, would be the goated shit, dude.
Like
That would be some
Rebirth
goated
coming out, it's
shit.
like, dude, Elden Ring, like games like that, God of War Ragnarok, Persona, Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom. If those came out while I was still in school, dude, oh man, that'd have been some, like that's what I needed. Instead, it's like clawing to find some fucking time.
Man, the world sucks.
Okay,
not
I'm
fair.
not getting that dramatic. The world sucks. I can't play my games 10 hours a day. You fucking bitch. Fuck the world. I'm killing myself. Fucking true.
I was re-looking at my list that we made at the beginning of the year about what games we wanted to beat.
Okay. I'm sorry. I just want to interject. When after you're done saying what you say, I have something I want to say on that. But
I was
go
like
ahead.
looking
You were
at it, and I'm like, where is it? I gotta find it quick again so I can look at it. Right here it is. Oh, I have all three actually. I was like looking at it, and I'm just like, already I'm like, what the hell was I thinking?
Okay, that's yeah. I was because what I was gonna ask you is how many of them do you think you would change?
I'm trying to think. Some of these, some of them are good. I think like putting Rebirth on's fine. Star Wars 2's fine. Obviously, I beat them. A couple of these I actually do want to play this year, like Prince of Persia,
Yep.
Castlevania, games like that. But like, I have like Resident Evil 7 on here. Like, I still don't have any desire to play that game at all, dude. No desire to play that game. Ugh, Evil Within. I don't even know. Like the last two were obviously I couldn't think of anything. It's like Evil Within and Lost Planet 2, and why the hell did I put Lost Planet 2 on the damn list?
Yeah, I don't have too many I would change. Um, but I was like curious what you would change because I made you make these lists and then a couple months go by and you're like, dude, if I could replace like because you'll be like, man, I feel like playing this game and I wish I could use it to replace another game.
The only thing I'm worried about on the list is I have Yakuza 0 and Breath of the Wild, and they're both super long games. I mean,
Yeah,
they're super long.
dude,
That and what we're
you
like
in Breath
four
of the
months
Wild.
in, dude.
Sorry, go ahead.
Man, I said we're like 4 months in. I only beat two of them, two of the games.
Well, and you have any Dragon Quest game, so I mean, depending on which one you pick.
Yeah. Which I still don't know why I did that either. I don't know what. I don't even know which one I would play. I have no clue which one I'd play.
I think the only one on my list that I'm a little like about is Ni no Kuni.
Yeah.
I don't think I like the combat, so I'll chug through. But like, I don't know. I don't really. I guess looking at my list is actually not bad. I wouldn't change.
See
I guess I wouldn't change
list.
any, because obviously I need to play Metal Gear Solid 3, right? I mean,
Well, yeah,
I'm
it's
going
like
to.
yeah, you gotta play that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty satisfied with it. Silent Hill 3 I'm saving for October, so I'm not worried about that at all, because I'm not in the mood to play it, but that's a Halloween game anyway, for me.
That's a game you could be in one sitting. Probably stream that game.
Yeah, and that's the thing. That's
Like
another thing.
legit.
This whole like me streaming on TikTok thing has really changed me playing games, because I think it's really gonna help me get through games and my backlog. Like sitting down streaming 3-4 hours a day, playing something, I I think it's gonna help. And um funny enough, I think when I get my retro tink, I think the first game that I'm gonna do a stream of playthrough with that is gonna be Brave Fencer Musashi. So like even there, it's like get that out of the way. Tokobot, that'd be a fun stream game, because like who's heard of Tokobot?
You already
I'm
were playing Dragon Ball Z, so
Yeah, that one I could just keep going with. Castlevania Lords of Shadow, I thought about putting that in today. So
that's a game that that's I have that on my list too. I'm excited for
yeah,
that one.
I
I think I
guess
really dig that one actually.
I put Xenogears on there looking a little. Okay, let me I'm
I
gonna
got
read my
Chad, I got
games to read.
Chad over here.
I'm gonna read my games to beat list, and then you read yours, so that way people know what we're talking about if they made it this
Yeah,
far.
we're looking at a list. They have
Yeah,
no clue what we're
sorry,
talking
sorry.
about.
Okay,
Yeah, we didn't really think there.
so
Sorry,
my games to
guys.
beat 2024 is Metal Gear Solid 3, Ni no Kuni, the first one, Castlevania Lords of Shadow 1, Silent Hill 3, Chrono Trigger, which I beat, Final Fantasy 7 Rebirth, which I beat, Great Greed. I really want to laugh after saying that. Brave Fencer Musashi, Lies of P, Xenogears, Nightmare Creatures, Sly 2, Klonoa 2, Tokobot Plus, and Dragon Ball Z Tenkaichi 2.
My turn. All
Yep.
right. On my list, I have Yakuza 0, Final Fantasy 7 Rebirth, which I already beat, Star Ocean 2, which was beat the other day. I have Wild Arms 2, Castlevania Lords of Shadow, Prince of Persia, the reboot on like the PS3 360 generation. I got Spider-Man Miles Morales. I have a Dragon Quest game. I don't none in particular, just like to play another one. I got Final Fantasy Stranger of Paradise, Great Greed. I got Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. I have Sly Cooper 2, Resident Evil 7, Evil Within, and Lost Planet 2. That's what I have on mine.
So yeah, so those are our lists. Sorry, I kind of forgot we were recording, and like you guys had no fucking clue what we were talking about.
Yeah, that was like us actually just going into like we're actually just talking to each other
Yeah.
mode.
Yeah, it. Like I said, I guess re going through my list, I'm pretty fine with it. I would keep it. I'm content, personally.
I think I might still be able to beat these all this year though, because a lot of them aren't that long. We made better choices this year than we did last year.
Yes, I figured with like games like Xenogears and Ni no Kuni, those are and Chrono Trigger, but I beat that one, so take that one off. Those because I put 3 JRPGs on my list. Well, 4 counting Great Greed, but that's the one we're co-oping. And almost done. I figured with Xenogears and Ni no Kuni, I would try and get them out of the way early, or at least start them early, so that way if I get like 30 hours in and then end up taking a break, when I come back, you know, I'm already 30 hours in type of thing. So that's kind of my approach with those is, but I'm not doing it so far, so approach unsuccessful. Whoops. But other than that, the games aren't too long.
Oh my god, look at his list, Mr. Survival Horror over here. Jesus.
Oh yeah, then we got our friend Tucker, Tuckalicious. I am Tuckalicious on YouTube. Yeah, his is.
He didn't even finish his because he only has what 13 games.
But yeah, he's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, right? 8 technically.
Survival Horror?
Yeah. Is Riddick a survival horror? I don't know.
I don't know.
Jericho is, right?
Yeah, okay, I'd say Dino Crisis is. I would say
Yes.
Dino Crisis is. Jericho is. Cold Fear. Dead Space. I think is Chronicles of Riddick a survival horror. I don't know. It looks like it. I don't know. Is Still Life? I don't know.
I don't know. Never heard of it.
I don't think so. It's Alan Wake 2 is. Extermination. So yeah, he's got.
I
Days
said
Gone
Days
a survival
Gone
horror?
is.
Yeah,
It's
it is right.
It's a zombie
Zombies.
horde survival game. So I said yes.
She's got 7 or 8, depending if Riddick is or not. I don't know if Riddick is.
Yeah, he's going. I really hope he likes Dino Crisis because I couldn't get into it, but each their
I'd still
own.
like to try that one. Yeah, I'd like to try that one. Is it just because the dinosaur's not as interesting? Not a
Yeah,
big
it's like I'd
dino
rather just play
guy.
Resident Evil
Yeah.
because that's all it is. Resident Evil with dinosaurs. I mean, it's fucking Capcom, so yeah, of course. But yeah, I would just rather play Resident Evil.
Maybe you'd rather play Resident Evil, but Samurai.
What, Onimusha?
Yeah.
Yeah, that fucking
Onimusha.
game's fucking sick. Did you put Onimusha? No, you didn't put Onimusha 2 on your list.
No, I did not.
Yeah.
I think you mentioned that when I made the list.
I think I did, yeah.
And I
you
probably
tried to
said the same
guess.
thing where you burying the game made me not want to play it. So.
Yeah. Sometimes it makes you want to play it more, sometimes it makes you want to avoid it.
Okay. You didn't bury it to the level you buried Lost Planet.
Yeah.
Though.
Well, just
You buried it.
yeah.
That's the only game I can think of where you buried it so deep in the ground where I'm like, I gotta play this game because it must be bad. Little did I know that you were too nice to it when you were burying it.
I still overhyped it.
I went in thinking it'd be like a 3 out of 10 game with how you were talking about it. To find out it was a 0 out of 10. It's the only negative. It's the only game with a negative score. Negative
I'm so
1 out
glad
of
you
10.
hated it as much as me, because you went into it like it's not that bad, the same way I did, and then you're just slowly returning on it, and then you hit this wall where you're like, this game is terrible. This game is the worst game I ever played.
It's literally.
Hit that
It's literally. I think
wall.
we probably had the same thing where it's like the first 2 missions you're like, this is
Yep.
okay. I guess ain't bad. Then you're kind of just like, okay, this is kind of boring and redundant. And then you get to that damn worm mission where you have to go across the fucking field with the worm that insta-kills you to end it on the worst boss ever. And you finally get over there after dying 10 times to the worm because it keeps insta-killing you because it's stupid how it's set up. And you fight that boss where it starts and he's shooting rockets before you even load in.
Instantly, and it's making the game run at 2 FPS.
Oh.
Lost Planet sucks. Cop.
That mission is literally where that game goes from it's like a 5 out of 10 to literally a 0. It's so bad.
Yeah.
Then the final mission just sucks. It's so bad. I think we were both fight at the same time or something, right?
Yeah. Yep.
And we're both dude, what is going on? It's this sucks. Oh, what a terrible game, man.
Yeah. Terrible. Terrible game. But I need to go to bed.
All right, bro. All right,
I do have to go to bed. Thank God it's Friday tomorrow. I got the weekend to look forward to after I get off. Godspeed to me. But always good to get on and chat, and especially like I said, now that we don't talk as much. But definitely appreciate anybody that listened. And if you made it this
Thanks,
far,
guys.
we appreciate it, which I know you didn't, so I'm just speaking to
Yeah,
myself.
it was, especially the last 30 minutes where we're just like insane ramblings of
Yeah, we're
Mad
just
Men.
like topic jumping like crazy. But yeah, this has been Two Broke Gamers. Of course, I'm Ray. Alongside me, Ryder.
I'm Ryder.
And we'll catch you next time, or we won't. Who knows? Peace out.
Yeah, who knows? See ya, boys.